Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how to make Millionaire shortbread. Some of you might know it as caramel shortbread or something along those lines. Anyway, so if you like this video and want to see more, please give me a like and subscribe down below, and give me a comment for any videos that you might want to see in the future. That would be really appreciated. Anyway, let's get on with the video. Okay, so first off you want to start by preheating your oven to 150 degrees and lining a square cake tin with parchment or baking paper just to stop the shortbread from sticking to the sides, because then it will be really hard to get out of the tin once it's made. Then you want to grab a bowl. So I've got my nifty little bowl here, and you want to put your butter, 175 grams of butter cut into cubes, along with 225 grams of plain flour. So you just want to rub the butter and the flour together until you get breadcrumb-like consistency. Now you want to make sure your butter is really cold, just so that it holds and doesn't all go all gloopy with the flour and doesn't make a very nice thing. And by doing this, it's going to make the shortbread of the caramel shortbread really just melt and crumble in your mouth when it goes in. If you get really fine breadcrumbs, you can use a food processor to do this, but for today I'm just using my hands, just because I've not got a food processor on me at the moment. It is a little bit longer with your hands, but it does make sure that you get every last bit of flour and butter rubbed in together. There you've got a nice fine breadcrumb consistency from rubbing the butter and flour together. So you want to now add 75 grams of caster sugar to the mix, and just with your hand or your food processor, you just want to make sure all of that is combined. And just make sure that you can't see that sugar in the breadcrumbs. And like so, it just goes back to how it was looking before I added the sugar. Okay, so now you want to get your lined cake tin, and you want to pour in that biscuit mixture into the bottom of the lined cake tin. You want to get the back of a spoon, metal or wooden, and you want to make sure that it's all pressed down into all the corners of the cake tin. Make sure that it's all sticking together, because remember, it is butter, it is going to stick. It's not completely dry as you would perhaps think from just seeing this, so you don't need to use something like egg or milk to combine it, because when it cooks the butter will melt and the biscuit will come together. You can also use your hand just to give it a bit of a press down into the cake tin, and then use the back of the spoon to press it down even further. I find that using the back of the spoon takes a lot longer than it does just pressing it down with your hand, but using a wooden spoon or a metal spoon means that you can get all those crevices and get right into that corner. However, you can also do that with your hand, to be honest, because you've got fingers. Fingers are a lot smaller, so you can do either. I find using my hands the easiest, and just carry on doing that until it's all completely in your cake tin. So now you want to go and take the shortbread over to the oven, which has been preheated and is ready to cook your shortbread. Next, whilst the oven is baking your shortbread for half an hour, you want to grab 100 grams of golden syrup and 150 grams of butter, put them in a saucepan and heat them until the butter is melted. So I'm just going to do that all until the butter has melted and the golden syrup and the butter are mixed in nicely. So as you can see there, the butter is just melting nicely. You'll find that the golden syrup isn't as sticky as it was when you first put it in, because obviously the butter melted in it and it's just made it less sticky because of the oil in the butter mixing with the golden syrup. So if you do that all until the butter has melted, as you can see there. So next you want to grab a tin with 397 grams or 379 grams of condensed milk, and you just want to pour that into your saucepan like so. You want to bring the caramel to the boil, so do it as high a heat as you want, but make sure that you do continually stir, because otherwise it's going to be very, very hard to not overcook the caramel and you will end up just burning it. So if you just let that settle for a minute and let it just come to the boil and start bubbling. As soon as you see it start bubbling, that's when you know it's at boiling temperature and it is boiling. So you just want to keep stirring that caramel until it is a colour a bit like this. I'm just going to keep stirring it just because it's a bit oily with the butter, and I'm just waiting to just incorporate all of that butter. But as you can see, the caramel is nice and is golden brown and ready to go onto the shortbread as soon as the shortbread has cooled. So you want to let this caramel just cool down a bit, just so that it can incorporate together and settle before you put it onto your shortbread in a minute. Okay, so once you've got the shortbread out of the oven and it's cooled and your caramel looks a little something like this after it's cooled as well, you want to pour the caramel onto the shortbread and spread it over evenly. So if you just grab your caramel and pour it on top of your shortbread, and you want to evenly spread it out with the back of the spoon, making sure that you've got all the little bits in the corners covered, and you want quite a thick layer of caramel, so make sure that you get all of the caramel out of the saucepan. So once you've got the shortbread covered in caramel like so, you just want to pop it into the fridge and let it cool down for about an hour before you do the chocolate to go on top. So what you want to do now is you want to get a bowl over some hot water, and you want to fill that with 350 grams of milk and dark chocolate. You want to turn the heat up so that the water boils and melts the chocolate, like so. Melt the chocolate until it's a nice glossy colour, like you can see here, and then you're going to just carry on stirring just until it's all melted and you've got no lumps whatsoever. Because as you can see, there are still a few little lumps of chocolate in there. And just wait until it's all been melted, like so. Then you want to turn it off and remove your bowl of chocolate and put it onto the side, and pour this over into the sink. Then you want to get the caramel and the shortbread and pour the chocolate over the top. I'm just going to get a tea towel. I can hold it, and you just want to pour that over the top of your caramel, making sure you spread it out all into the corners so that it makes an even layer over the top. And then you want to put it in the fridge overnight just to let it set. So once you've left your Millionaire shortbread to cool, you want to get a sharp knife and a chopping board, and you want to cut it into little squares. So this should cut into 12 squares. So if you go across, if you do 3 by 4, obviously don't need to get them perfectly even, as they will still look really good no matter how big or small you do them. So that is your Millionaire's shortbread. As you can see, you've got your 3 layers there of caramel, shortbread and chocolate. So that's how you make it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and like. And I will be back with another video next week. Thanks for watching.